Yes, 1 second. Naresh Gujral is contradicting. Yes, Naresh Gujral, coming to you.
I said, he has said saffron terrorism. And you all know that every time they say saffron terrorism, they are targeting the Sangh Parivar. So obviously Rajnath Singh has to react. What is wrong with that?
Why can't the Minhas merchant, why can't the Home Minister just pull back and say it was a mistake?
Yeah, I think he should do that, because what Mr. Shinde has said, I think is not only irresponsible, as a few panelists have mentioned, but I think it's a disservice to Indian secularism and our fight against terrorism, which is really where people are dying across the LOC and POK, etc. That is the real problem that we are faced with. And here we are diverting our country's attention, we are diverting our country's resources. And in what way? There's a tsunami of terrorism that confronts us. We're ignoring that. And there's a small wave of terror, admittably, which is there and which should be tackled. But this tsunami is being ignored. So there's a great disservice that Mr. Shinde has done. And to answer your question directly,
nobody is ignoring the tsunami. I don't think we should put a brush one kind of terror under the carpet in order to tackle another kind of terror.
I'm not asking anyone to brush anything under the carpet.
What kind of argument is that?
I'm not asking anyone to brush anything under the carpet, but I'm telling people that they should take note of what is a much greater threat to India than they are doing right now. That's not brushing anything under the carpet.
No, I mean,
secondly, why should anybody take it serious and oppose it? If somebody comes out and says that I am a terrorist, do you think that I should take it lying down? Absolutely. Why should I take it lying down? I will oppose it, and all those who support me will oppose it. Same way, if he is saying it is a saffron terror, which is directly indicating attacking the RSS. The RSS man definitely.
I don't understand why this panel. Why this panel, this esteemed panel?
It is a found of people linked to the RSS and Hindu organizations who have been indulging in acts of terror.
Sankarshan Thakur, 1 minute. Sankarshan Thakur, would some deviant fringe member who claims that he fights for a religious ideology, but who has no business usurping anyone's religion,
absolutely,
and claiming to fight on behalf of an ideology of a religion which that person truly does not understand the values of, why should there be an attempt to prefix a religion to terror?
What do you call that? What do you call the Talibanis in Afghanistan? You call them Islamist terrorists, no? Do you think they are Islamic?
In our country, Sankarshan Thakur, with its diverse...
No.
1 minute.
These are larger definitions.
What larger definitions?
It cannot be limited to this geography and that.
No, I'm asking you today. No, Sankarshan, tomorrow, 1 minute. God forbid tomorrow if there is a man from another religion.
But Arnab, I've given you an example.
Yes, Hartosh?
Where we have been using such terms.
Hartosh, I am
using such terms, and nobody has felt the need to object to it till then.
Okay, so the counter question coming from Hartosh is
usage which is prevalent in the country.
The counter question is, if the phrase Islamic terror is being used, then why is the phrase? Why
Sikh terror. I'm using the term Sikh terror. Let us not make it just about Islam and Hinduism. The term Sikh terror has been regularly used.
1 minute, Hartosh Singhba. Let me make it categorical to you. Since you say this, 1 minute. We are talking here about terror of groups of people who are secessionists, and therefore that is groups that are pro-Khalistani groups claiming to represent Sikhism as much, the interest of Sikhism as much as these fringe elements would claim to represent the tenets of Hinduism.
Arnab, are you saying that groups that are not using terror for
precisely my point, Arnab. That's precisely my point.
I am asking you that tomorrow, will 1 minute, will any act of terror, will tomorrow if a man from X religion comes out and throws a bomb, will we say, oh, it is X religion's bomb?
Exactly.
And how divisive will that be in our country?
Because it has been done in the past in this country.
No, so you... I don't...
It should have been done, but I'm saying suddenly to wake up to it now is hypocrisy.
Well, let me tell you that in January 2011, Rahul Gandhi said, I have not come across any religion which preaches violence or killing of innocent people. In November 2008, Sonia Gandhi said terror has no religion, but some parties are trying to link the two. In December 2002, Sonia Gandhi said terrorism has no religion.
Read and observed in this country.
How does the logic change? In August 2010, the Congress party completely contradicted this whole reference to saffron terror that had been made by the then Home Minister.
Such terminology, Arnab, is not the preserve of the Congress party or any other party.
How does the logic change in a pre-election year? John Dayal. John Dayal has been wanting to come in. John Dayal.
No, I have not been wanting to come in as much as I've been feeling so left out of this August panel. I think Mr. Shinde is not the greatest exponent of Hindi or English, so we'll leave him for the moment. But for 20 years, the BJP has been demonizing Muslims in India by talking of Islamic terror. And it was the BJP again, which was talking of Sikh terror throughout the early 80s. Let us not forget that. I mean, I have been a reporter of those times. No, the BJP, my dear sir. I was a reporter.
Congress fought the 1985 election
and the Congress,
and the BJP as well.
Allow me to speak.
Sankarshan Thakur and Naresh Gujral, I request you to let Mr. John Dayal complete. I'll come to you, gentlemen.
And the Congress, not just the Congress, but there's not an issue here. The issue is, if you were to go through contemporary BJP and RSS literature, if you monitor Organizer and Panchadeh as early as last Sunday, they are talking of Islamic terror. As my friend said, thank God Purohit is not a Christian, otherwise he would have been labelled as a missionary fanatic.
No, so what is this competitive, one second. No, what are we going to do? Competitive communalism? No, will we have competitive communalism in our country?
I think Rajnath Singh does not have the guts to take on corruption as an issue of debate. He doesn't have a guts to take on the Verma Commission report as an issue of debate and 100 other issues. He has to pick on something which is a soft issue, core constituency, which is not secular.
Okay, fine.
His core constituency is divisive. His arguments are divisive. So the blame lies more with Rajnath than with Shinde.
Counter argument coming in. Mahesh Jethmalani raises his hand. It's time for me to go to him. Gentlemen, this debate is going to continue for some time, and therefore I will come back to everyone. Mahesh Jethmalani, an interesting line of thought from John Dayal. He says that this is the sort of core issue. Core issue for people like Rajnath Singh.
Yes.
So he's picking on it.
It is. I'll tell you why. First, let me quickly talk about John's argument. John's argument about Rajnath Singh can very easily be rebutted because there's been a frontal attack. And please note the words of the Home Minister. He has said that the BJP, RSS have run terror camps. Even if he had said something else, if he had limited it to Hindu terror, and I'll come to that in a minute, it wouldn't have been that monstrous an assertion. But he has gone much further, that the BJP, RSS are running terror camps. Of course, they are bound to take up issue and pillory for him. They should sue him and they should ask him for proof. That's point number one. As far as the terminology is concerned, branding particular forms of terrorism with a prefix, I agree with Hartosh. It has been used and it has been unfortunate. But there came a time when Chidambaram as Home Minister used the word saffron terror and he was pilloried. Since then, everybody has been very politically correct about not using religious prefixes or colors associated with particular religions in respect of any aspect of terrorism, whether it may emanate from a particular religious group or not. We've been careful because it's a sensitive issue, and let's face it,
October 2008, Mahesh Jethmalani, October 2008, is the BJP selectively blind? Is the BJP selectively blind? October 2008. A news report I have with me says 1 minute.
2008. We are 1 minute.
Why don't you want me to quote October 2008?
I am, but will you please let me finish? There's no point coming on your show if a man can't make it.
You don't allow other people to finish. How? You can't monopolize the whole debate.
I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you, John. I'm sorry. You don't like what I said, so you're interrupting me. Now, all I'm saying is, as far as the religious prefix is concerned, since 2008 we've been politically correct. Why is the Home Minister suddenly now in 2013 not only making a false allegation, why is he now referring to again raising that ghost and calling it saffron?
I am saying that everyone, all political parties are jumping for this. Every political party is Bharat Kumar Rao. Digvijay Singh says, why did Rajnath Singh visit Sadhvi Pragya Thakur in jail? So the Congress party is, the BJP is, both sides, all sides are willingly jumping into this debate. Of course it...
No, it is a reaction. Whatever Shiva Sena and BJP has done is a reaction, a natural reaction, automatic reaction. Nobody was talking about...
talk about corruption.
Nobody was talking about color of terrorism so far. It is Sushil Kumar Shinde not only gave color.
So you made your point. So you made your point. 1 minute. You made your point.
Also named the party.
The BJP made its point. It had a press conference. Get over with it. I mean, after that, when you start, Minhas Merchant, admit today the BJP is trying to stretch this politically. Yeah, because it's seeing a political lifeline here.
I don't think it's a lifeline. They're seeing a political advantage. But the point is that Shinde made this particular, I regard, a disservice to India point, because he wanted political advantage. And the reaction of the BJP is not, it's for political advantage. I don't think it's a lifeline that they are trying to grasp at. But, the whole thing is that Mr. Shinde should come out, say that this particular comment was wrong, that he did not mean that the BJP runs terror camps. I think that is such a ludicrous statement, that the BJP as a political party runs terrorist camps. Now, when you make a statement like that, your own credibility is in question.
Well, certainly it is, but I thought...
Now he has a responsibility to prove it. If he says that they are running terror camps, isn't it the Home Minister's responsibility?
So what do you want the Home Minister to do?
To prove it. If he says that, he knows that it's so, and if he keeps a blind eye on that, it is a crime then.
Prove it.
Prove it or withdraw.
You don't think the comments of the Home Secretary yesterday suffice?
No. It has to go to the logical end. If he is leaving them just like a statement on the floor of his party, then it is a crime.
Now
how can the Home Minister knowing that it is the BJP RSS are running terrorist camp, then how can Home Minister go home and sleep?
He has
to open the battle with
the other question, Hartosh Singh Bal, is of the advantage to Pakistan, gentlemen.
Exactly. That's the point.
Now I have with me a press note of July 1st, 2009. US Department of Treasury gives the personal particulars of 4 persons, a Pashtun born in Afghanistan and a 4th person of unclear ethnicity originating from Karachi. The name of the 2nd person here, Hartosh Singh Bal, and this question is to you in the context of advantage to Pakistan, is of a person called Arif Kasmani, a Pakistani national from Karachi. Arif Kasmani has been specifically named by the notification of the American government as involved in the suburban Mumbai train blast of July 2006 and the Samjhauta Express blast of February 2007. It says that Arif Kasmani is the chief coordinator for LET dealing with outside organizations and in detail talks about his role in the Samjhauta blast. It talks about how he received money from Dawood Ibrahim for the July 2006 bombing in Mumbai, how he provides financial and logistic support to the Al-Qaeda and its leaders. Now, my question to you, Hartosh Singh Bal, is this. Consider, has the Home Minister jumped the gun when you have an American government linking a Pakistani national from Karachi to the Samjhauta blast? Do you believe the Home Minister owes an explanation for jumping the gun? And do you think the charge is correct that he's given a, he's given a helping hand to the Pakistani argument?
First of all, I think Mr. Shinde's statement was an extremely foolish statement, and we are all
no, but he's the Home Minister of India.
Of cases which are actually. Yes, absolutely. He's the Home Minister of India. He made an extremely foolish statement. He should step back from it. I have no problem saying that. And exactly, we are too hasty in prejudging cases which are actually pending in court.
No, precisely. So the American government says Huji is responsible for terror attacks, including the Hyderabad mosque attack and the March 2007 Varanasi attack. Arif Kasmani, the chief coordinator of Lashkar-e-Toiba, is responsible for Samjhauta attack. The American government is talking in one direction and the Indian government is talking in another. Hartosh Singh Bal, I am asking you again about the unfair advantage
to Pakistan.
I want to know what your and Sankarshan's take is on this.
Exactly. Absolutely. The question here is not about the unfair advantage to Pakistan or not. The question is who is the right person that we should pin down for this case, because we need to necessarily find out who really was behind these attacks, and that is very important to prevent future attacks. That
why not?
No, why should we not talk? No,
Sankarshan, 1 minute.
Arnab, 1 minute.
It's a home minister.
Arnab, I think you are investing too much into one minute, hold on. As Hartosh is saying, unless it is established by proper investigation, and this is something we always and serially fail at doing, how are we picking one American press note from 2009?
Not one American press note.
These things have not been
proven.
Not
a press note. US government document into its own investigation. I am not in the business of picking up a newspaper article here and there and quoting it. I am picking up
US government document. Where
did they come here? Do I understand from the premise of your question that we should trust the American investigations more than the Indian investigations?
No, my question to you is,